Embry, none for 125, and Phil Edmonds, none for 97. Disappointing. Morgan is the substitute fielder, with Neil Radford having gone back to play for Worcestershire. Well, the early overs today went just about as they had yesterday. The Pakistan batsmen were in fine form, and the England bowlers looked as stiff as two boards. It really was a struggle for them at the start. They tried hard. We pick it up now in the fourth over at the very start. Botham is coming into bowl to Salim Yusuf, and he is in good touch. Well, that was an intended bouncer, but it finished up, well, not much more than waist height and just asked to be hit.
Yes, that's the easy ones to hit.
It's a good shot. Gower just managed to get his fingertips to it. There are two trailing Gower. Well, it's not 6, it's only 4. 3 of them after it. I shouldn't think Botham is absolutely overjoyed about it.
David Gower getting to it just before the rope, flipping it up over the line.
Good shot. He can still manage to smile, but he won't know that he's reached 200 and joined a select band of bowlers from whom 200 runs have been taken in an innings. Still has a way to go to catch the most expensive analysis, and that was Chuck Fleetwood-Smith. 87 overs, 11 maidens, 1 for 298.
Good pull shot straight to Jeff Holmes. 650 up.
Well, unlucky for Dilly here, because that was a full stroke he induced, and you see French, that was in the air quite a long time. Full length dive, and just couldn't get his hands to it.
And that's through, and he does a 50, and a very nicely played 50 as well. 4 runs to extra cover. That's also the highest score that Pakistan have ever made in a test match, beating the 674.
He also takes Ijaz Ahmed to his highest test score. So a bit of history on 2 counts there.
And down the wicket this time, and straight back over the bowler's head.
Well, that's the first real sign of airborne aggression, if that's the right phrase, we've seen today. Never to the pitch of it.
Nothing going right for Graham Dilly. It's not a very positive stroke at all. He sort of just pushes at it gently, inside edge onto the pad, and trickles just past the off stump.
John Embury to come on for his first bowl today, and the very first ball he bowls will set up another record. That's the most he will ever have bowled in an innings for England.
Well, having a dart there at John Embury, the ball just spinning a bit, hitting the pad, and 2 leg byes. Well, straightforward catch to Mike Gatting, shorter ball, then for the pull shot and straight in head eye, and Mike Gatting put it down.
for Mike Gatting. Nothing going right from at all, and that really was a very, very simple catch indeed. He didn't hit it in the middle, just the right height, and down it went.
But things are going desperately wrong for Graham Dilley at the moment. Oh, and that's a magnificent catch. Yusuf just hitting through the ball, and Graham Dilley in full speed on his follow-through, just putting the right hand down inches from the ground. Fine catch there.
Well, that couldn't have happened much better. The disappointment of that drop catch, and then a lovely pick up there by Graham Dilley. Beautifully balanced he was after his follow-through. Well, Yusuf returns to the pavilion. Important bowl, Dilley 42. Very tidy innings in poor light.
Wazir Akram, the man coming to the wicket.
You see how high on the bat this ball hits. Great piece of cricket. And Graham Dilley certainly deserved that.
Well, again, going for the big one, and Phil Edmonds at deep mid-wicket certainly didn't see that. He set off the wrong way to start with. Definitely a miss hit, but going for long on, and it went to mid-wicket to square like that.
Yes, this is the old slog, really. Didn't quite know where it was going. He got a very, very thick inside edge, and it went over mid-wicket. That's a terrific shot. Beautiful sweep shot.
The 700 came up with the first four, and with the second four, that's the second highest score made on this ground in a test match. Beautiful sweep shot here. The arm ball, but getting just outside leg stump there, and he just whacking it away to square leg.
And a good catch, well judged. Ijaz Ahmed lofts it out to Moxon at mid-off. For a moment, I suspect he lost it in the background. It is quite dark here, but took it very neatly indeed above his head. Ijaz Ahmed is gone, and well-deserved success for Graham Dilley.
Here he is driving at Graham Dilley, having got on his back foot. You see the way he leaned back then when he hit it, and Martin Moxon judging that to perfection.
Abdul Qadir is the new batsman coming out to join Wazir Akram. And there's another one for Worcestershire and Yorkshire. Nothing for Pakistan's leg spinner Abdul Qadir. They look too good in a score of 707, or even more than that.
I'm not sure how wholehearted Tim Robinson and Chris Broad's congratulations will be, because suddenly this ball's starting to dart around. That went quickly. Fine catch by Moxon.
Great performance from Dilley. He's got 5 wickets now on 3 occasions in innings in test matches. I wonder how much confidence Wazir Akram has in Tausif Ahmed. Well, he's got to take it. Dilley will be pleased. He's got his 6th wicket. Not too sure about Broad and Robinson, but that's their job as opening batsmen. They have to go out there and face the new ball for around 8 minutes. Probably an over from IMRAN and one from Wazir Akram, who was the last man out.
a good bouncer. Simple catch for both of them.
That is a great scorecard for Pakistan cricket. They'll be able to look back on that in years to come and feel very proud of the way they batted. It was most entertaining all the way through. Lovely innings there from those three men. And today, Ijaz Ahmed 69 and Salim Yusuf 42 did their job as well. And Dilly came back with a marvellous fighting effort. I said earlier that both he and Botham looked very stiff at the start of their bowling. So they did. They couldn't get it together then, but Dilly was very unlucky as the innings went on. Finished with 6 for 154 from 47.3 overs and 10 maidens, and he can be very proud also of that effort. Botham 3 for 217 joins that select little band we were talking about, and a struggle for the spinners, not a wicket for them in 93 overs, and that will be very disappointing, not only for that pair but also for the skipper Mike Gatting. Well, the openers for England, a little bit of a surprise. Martin Moxon was the man to go out with Chris Broad rather than Tim Robinson. Imran Khan was on song with the first two balls. Good length deliveries to Chris Broad. Here's the third ball with no runs yet on the board. Imran Khan. He's gone. Beautifully bowled. What a good delivery. Had to play at it. Nicely caught by Salim Yusuf. Tragedy for England in this tough little period just before lunch, and they had to get through a couple of overs, unable to do so.
Well, the ball before swung away, and look at this, in exactly the right slot. No fault at all on the part of Chris Broad. He got to play at that.
Tim Robinson has to go out now. Still with 4 minutes to play in this first session.
We'll see this one again, and you see it pitches round about middle. Starts to swing just before pitching, carries on its way off the seam. There's no way at all could Chris Broad not have played at that delivery.
Wasim Akram to continue to Martin Moxon.
It was almost worth a wicket. It almost cut him in two. But it was beautifully taken by Salim Yusuf. Wonderfully well bowled by Wasim Akram. And Martin Moxon has survived. But what a great delivery.
First ball after lunch. Imran Khan to Tim Robinson. And Robinson away, beautifully turned away. In swinger. Turned off his leg, his square leg, no problem at all, 4 runs. And that's probably good thinking that Qudair coming on. Well, the ball's still pretty new, 8 overs gone, so he'll be able to get that, just that bit of extra bounce while the ball's still new. No ball call there, and unbelievably, that's the first no ball call in the whole match. Tim Robinson on 22, Martin Moxon on 8. Abdul Qudair to continue bowling from the pavilion, and he'll be bowling to Tim Robinson. Almost a catch then. It went pretty quickly, and Madassa sillied it off. The ball just about carried to his hands, but it went pretty sharp. A very fine catch, because it was a wide one. Moxon drove at it, and it went very, very quickly indeed, but straight into the first slip's waist. But well taken indeed there.
Very, very wide indeed, and driving at it, and beautifully taken by Javed. That went very fast.
David Gower, the incoming batsman.
A disappointing start for England on this very, very docile pitch. You can see, looking down the pitch, that little bit of rough outside the left-hander's off stump. David Gower's got to watch that.
And in fact, Quader is now getting an official warning. David Constant not having a rank too wrong there. He's informed the other umpire, and Imran Khan, the captain, goes in the little black book, and that is an official warning. And there's a shout there for a bat and pad catch. Well taken by Madassa at Cinnamid off, but no response from the umpire or Tim Robinson. Straight off the pad.
Here, Robinson getting right forward, but obviously off the pad. Beautifully picked up by Madassa.
Now it's Wasam Akram to Tim Robinson.
Nicely timed stroke by David Gower. Three more to him. 50 up for England for the loss of 2 wickets. Broad out without scoring, and Moxon for 8. Well, you get them in all sorts of ways. Robinson waiting for the ball to pull, and perhaps suspecting it was the top spinner which would hurry on. In fact, it held up in the pitch. He looked to me to be well through with his stroke, when the ball just brushed against, what, middle or perhaps even off stump.
Yes, one of the tricks of the trade of the leg spinner here. See that ball pitching just outside leg stump and turning appreciably, just brushing Robinson's right pad possibly, and flicking onto middle and off.
Gatting is the new batsman. 2 successes so far then for the over-the-wrist spinner. There are not many of them left in the world these days. They've been beaten to death by medium pacers and administrators, but sometimes they have their day. Abdul Qadir will come around the wicket for Gower and back over the wicket for Mike Gatting. That's a beautiful stroke. Just a little nudge away through mid-wicket. Perfect timing. That's good cricket from David Gower. Imran Khan is taking over from Wasim Akram. It's just what you'd need at that moment.
Very nearly disaster for England here. Imran nearly getting that, which means that David Gower has to go back. There was no calling at all then.
Nasser was at gully, no catch, it was played into the ground.
Stroke. David Gower has now become the first England batsman to score 1,000 runs against Pakistan.
That was that fierce square cut from David Gower. Tausif Ahmed. Imran Khan is of the opinion that he'll spin the ball quite sharply out there. There's the 4th one down, and that is a large disaster for England. David Gower falling to Tausif Ahmed just before tea. They lost Broad just before lunch, now Gower just before tea. 3 times Gower now in the series has played on, twice to the pacemen, once now to the spinner. Ian Botham takes his place.
I'm afraid not a great shot really, this from David Gower. Ball not bouncing very high. Bottom corner, pulling away as he's playing the shot. Bottom of corner into the leg stump. And England deep in trouble.
England are looking for 2 big hundreds at least from somebody, and the number of
tea. They lost Broad just before lunch, now Gower just before tea. 3 times Gower now in the series has played on, twice to the pacemen, once now to the spinner. Ian Botham takes his place.
I'm afraid not a great shot really, this from David Gower. Ball not bouncing very high. Bottom corner, pulling away as he's playing the shot. Bottom of corner into the leg stump. And England deep in trouble.
England are looking for 2 big hundreds at least from somebody, and the number of batsmen who can play that sort of innings, well, they're vanishing with too much regularity for England's peace of mind.
Getting away straight after tea, the first ball from Tosif, off the back foot, through the covers, 4 runs.
Well, the England captain's one of them. One thing he doesn't lack is determination.
And down the wicket again, a beautiful stroke again, wide of mid-on, getting right to the pitch. Well, that's the first 100 up for England. Another 4 of those just to save the following.
Well, this was nearly Gatting's most destructive boundary. Look how close this goes to Ian Botham. Evasive tactics there. Very powerful hit.
That looks like that's the second official warning there for Qudair. Yes, the little notebook's out again. So anything else after that, and Qudair will be taken off for the innings. So problems there for Pakistan. It looks like he's possibly going to go around the wicket.
Yes, well, if he's gone round really to keep in umpire Constant's good books, then it's a big blow really for Pakistan. That's all Ian Botham has to do. Anything pitched outside leg stump, and all gives him all the protection he wants.
That's the 50 partnership. So pretty positive cricket there from England.
Mike Gatting's won a little battle because Wasim Akram's coming on instead of the off-spinner. So Gatting at least has proved 1 point.
And it looks as though Wasim Akram may have hurt himself in the foothold.
Looks like that Wasim Akram might in fact be going off. And as Mudassar is already off the field, that's 2 bowlers missing. Cordair warning and another warning, and he'll be off. That would be 3 bowlers off, so Imran could begin to finish with problems like Mike Gatting had. Toasted this pitch a little bit short. In both, I'm not intending to hit it as fine as that, probably hit it square on the offside. It's semi-edge, but it went very quick indeed for 4.
But Imran's returning to the attack. He's going to come in from the pavilion end here, which is where he set off the England innings by dismissing Chris Broad in the first over.
The quick one here, Mike Gatting ought to be quick. Well, it could have been reasonably tight. Mike Gatting's 50, but hardly worth that kind of a risk at the moment. It's probably going to have a little discussion on the light. Imran's made it pretty clear that he's going to bowl. And I would say that is it for Badline.
And Imran threw his head back in the air there. And I would have thought an experienced cricketer like him would have known that it was likely to happen if he continued to bowl.
In fact, Abdul was the one who should have come on at that stage, and I thought Imran Khan should have made it quite clear to the umpires, with whatever waving of the arms he needed, that it was to be. Qadir would be coming in from the pavilion end. They might well have stayed out there for a little while had that been the case. Good partnership between Gatting and Botham. So far, they've added 66, and it's still a long, long way to go, I'm afraid, for England's sake. The Pakistan bowlers, they've done very well indeed. They've batted well throughout this match. Now they're on top with the ball. Imran 1 for 23. Abdul Qadir 2 for 54 from 20 overs. Wasim Akram is off the field injured. That's exactly the same sort of thing has happened to Foster for England. And Tausif Ahmed, 7 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 28. There's certainly a bit of turn out there, but both Gatting and Botham have managed to cope with it okay. 564 behind England. They need another 365 to avoid the follow-on. That is a massive task, and the Pakistan bowlers will come out fresh again on Monday. Well, there's plenty of Ian Botham.